Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. Electrifying.
Yes, guys, and welcome back to the unhinged, the undefeated, and the unbreakable TCP Live. Coming at you live at 7:30 p.m. every Thursday evening on YouTube and available ad-free on YouTube memberships and Patreon. Hola a todos. Me llamo Alex. Me gustan las gambas porque son muy divertidas. Yo soy un madridista. Maybe it's just soy. It's not. I think soy is like permanent. Like soy is like you're a boy. Estoy un madridista.
You did say you were learning Spanish.
No me gusta el jugador se llama William Saliba porque William Saliba es mejor que mi jugador Kylian Mbappe. I'm cooking.
You're actually cooking. If that actually made sense, God knows if it did. Also, check your mic. Check your mic. I don't know.
Oh, am I on the wrong mic?
Yeah. Well, can you just tap it?
Am I?
Yeah, you're not on your mic. You're not on your mic.
I'm not on my mic. It says I am.
Do it again.
How about now?
Now you are. Now you are.
Oh, all my Spanish was on a rubbish mic.
It was. I just felt it was. It sounded different, but
yeah.
You did cook. You did cook.
I said it was on my mic. How bizarre! I hate StreamYard so much. I also just went on StreamYard, and this is what we record on, and it said, "Oh, we're putting in like a little link to ourselves in your description on YouTube." I was like, "No, you're not. I'm not promoting you. I pay you. Self on my show, just mine,
your show.
Yeah,
it is your show.
Yeah. So anyway, basically." It's saying here, share your referral link. No.
Oh yeah, I think you can hide it though. Let's get rid of that. Oh, can't even hide it.
Streaming or looking to level up, check out StreamYard and get a $10 discount. Do you know what, before we even come to the Madrid game?
Yeah.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone in the chat. Hello, how are you? Who was here first? Arpit was here. Says here for the educational podcast. J Vilgur FX says Rohan. The Physics Frontier says Rice can't pass. Rice can't pass. Nindo says, what time did everyone sleep on Tuesday? What time did you sleep on Tuesday?
All right, 3:00.
Yeah,
and I had to get up for 6. I had a headache, mate. Honestly, I had a serious headache, but
yeah,
it was worth it. I rewatched the game straight after.
How?
He's just recorded it, innit?
You recorded it on Pratt?
Yeah, record it, and then I rewatched it, and then I watched the Rice free kicks a few more times, and then I went to bed.
Benji, thanks for super chat. Won £180 on a correct score bet on Wednesday night, so sharing the love with my fellow Gooners.
Oh yeah.
You're saying Wednesday? I'm assuming that was not on the Arsenal game then. But you cooked.
Or
Benji, you're very kind.
Or maybe he got paid on the Wednesday.
Maybe.
But that isn't usually how it works, though. But
let us know, Benji. Let us know if you predicted 3. What did you predict for the Madrid game?
2-1 Arsenal.
I predicted 2-1.
Yeah,
I thought we'd win, but I didn't think it would be like that.
I honestly, I didn't think we'd go through over the 2 legs, and it's not over yet. But
it might be. 4 a.m. says Crone. Wokal says 10 a.m. 10 a.m.
So he didn't sleep. He just didn't sleep.
That's not going to bed.
That's just staying awake.
1 a.m., 1:30, 4:30 a.m. Emirates Zero says Dua Lipa and Anne Hathaway Hive rise. We are massive.
Mate, I'm so gassed. I'm actually so jealous of you. Not gonna lie. I'm actually so jealous.
Shall we talk about it? Let me tell you a story. So, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. I'm thinking this is my last chance, my last hope. I have nothing. I've got nothing. I've got no links. No, I've tried everyone. I've tried FK and Latte Firm, who's my normal plug. I've tried my guys who have season ticket. They're all going, obviously. So it's over. I check X, and I put a tweet out saying, "So crazy how someone's going to reply to this tweet and get me to the Madrid game." That was because I manifested it.
See that?
And Steve from Konami had replied under that about 20 minutes ago from the time I was checking, saying, "Hey mate, your DMs aren't open." And you just get a little sniff. You're like, this might be real. This might be real. And I went on it, and it was like, it was. I went on his X profile, and it said he worked for Konami. I was like, okay, you wouldn't. And he had his face on it. I was like, okay. I searched Steve and his surname at Konami. I searched on Instagram, and it all checked out. And I was like, okay. So I DM'd him. I said, Steve, come on, is this legit? He sent me his number. He said, show me the DMs on your phone, like screen record, just so I know it's you. And then he sent me the PDF of the ticket with the QR code. And I was
They're
like,
a bit risky though, aren't they? PDFs are a bit risky.
They're a bit risky.
Yeah, I'm a bit hesitant on the PDFs.
Yeah. But I thought at that point, it would be such an elaborate lie. Like it would be, it's to set up this guy who works at Konami and like.
Did you not do any more like investigation of the ticket?
No, bro. I saw the PDF. I just went for it. I was like, I'm going. Yeah. So I literally I said to my mate, I was like, because he was going to the game, my housemate, and I was like, dude, I think I've got it. And I go, and I had one of those moments. I'm sorry to make everyone jealous, but I don't care. I was like going down the road, and outside on my road, there's like all these blossom trees, and we got line bikes to the station. And I was like, what would I do at 90 years old to go back to the moment being 27, cycling down the road with my mate to go and see Arsenal play Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, sun going down, blossoms on it. I was like, mate, this is elite. Yeah. Got there, it's a corporate box. So I feel like I'm showing off. I don't care. It was a corporate box. I'd never been at that level before.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But was the atmosphere as good then? Or was it still like...
Mate, I'll take it wherever.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll take it. Do you know what did annoy me? Annoy me? To be totally honest, because I've never been at that level before. I had to say, obviously, shout out Steve. Absolute hero. Thank you so much for getting me there. Steve from Konami. Legend. And gave it to me for free as well. I was like, please let me give you something. He was like, no. And there's he was a Leeds fan, so he was like there because he had tickets, and a couple of other people. There was like a Liverpool fan and stuff. There was an Arsenal fan there. We had a really great night. And but what annoyed me is in so many seats were free in the corporate area. I was so annoyed because either I get it, like, okay, they give out corporate seats or whatever, but if you're not going to be there, surely it's not a good corporate decision to not sell on
it's
£1,000 seats. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like it's a weird just decision as a business.
and being stubborn on that price. Like, if you're not getting any buyers, then just bring your price down a bit.
Exactly.
But mate, I tried. I didn't try as much as what I should have, because I knew a few of my mates.
You just thought it was going to happen.
No, I did actually. To be fair, I just thought it was going to happen, and then I saw a few of my mates try and ticket exchange, and they were getting no look out of it whatsoever. So I thought, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this unless I can get like an easy way of getting a ticket at Monday night. Monday night was my that was it. If I don't get a ticket now, I just can't make it with work and stuff. But yeah, that's the first game I've tried. I've not been able to get to that I've tried to as well.
Yeah.
But
Mate.
Still gassed.
It was. As I said on the other show, like, it was the best. It's the best game. It's the best Arsenal game I've ever been to.
Yeah.
It's probably the best football game I've ever been to in any stadium. Although the one that rivals it is I saw Real Madrid, like peak Real Madrid in 2013, play Bournemouth. That was great. And that
was a friendly though, wasn't
it? Yeah, but it was like as an experience, because like Cristiano Ronaldo, peak Ronaldo was in
vitality.
Peak Ronaldo was in like 2 minutes down the road. That was unbelievable. And Bournemouth were terrible at the time, but so the best Arsenal game I've ever been to, probably the best like stadium experience, like football, whatever, but probably also the best live event I've ever been to. Like, just in terms of an atmosphere, it was unbelievable. As we come onto the game, we shouldn't underplay how important the crowd was. That's the best I've ever heard the Emirates. If we can keep that up, if we can do that again, if we can replicate that atmosphere for nights like this again, I have no reason to think we can't have the Anfield effect, the St. James's Park effect. Like, why can't we have that? That it was as electric as that.
As some of the Madrid fans said as well. They said, I think the Emirates atmosphere was the best they've been exposed to in this country. And actually, I think the soft factors play a massive part.
Huge.
Because it's not quantifiable. But like, for example, in the second minute, I don't know if you remember it, but like we did the main pod, and we're like, all right, what that team talk that you'd want to give, and you and George very it was a bit more tactical, I'm there. I'm like, oh, just smash someone.
Just smash it to somebody.
And Timber did it on Bellingham in the second minute. I don't know if you remember it. He wrapped his leg around him and he went bang, like, see you later, you melt. And then Saka draw the foul from Modric. And the fans just like, oh, I was like, that moment.
Smash it to somebody.
Yeah, that moment, mate, honestly. Soft factors.
It was good. Josh, super chat from Josh Miller. Thank you so much. Arguably the best performing team in the UEFA Champions League since the start of the league phase till now. Only Barca with a shout.
This beats the Barca one though, like 100%.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'd say the Real Madrid the game beats the Barca game.
Yeah, but I think he's talking about now. He's talking about like.
Oh right, sorry, that's my bad.
Yeah,
that's my bad.
Sorry, Josh. He can't read.
Sorry, Josh. Get my glasses.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's start big picture.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about potential UCL win? We are 4 games away.
Do you reckon we'll do it?
Mate, do you know what? Like, do you know what? The craziest thing is. The craziest thing is.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me before that 3-0, what's going to be what's the hardest possible? What's the route here? Basically, there's 5 games. I would have said no because I don't think we'll get past Madrid over 2 legs.
I agree,
and that's it. I think probably we could. I think I would say we're favourites, or I think we would go through against PSG over 2 legs.
Yeah,
and I think we would. It depends. I mean, also if Havertz is returning, there's some rumors and stuff, but like you never know, right? But I couldn't see a way past Madrid. They're Madrid in the Champions League. We had the Madrid Juju night. Like that's a freak. That will never be repeated. That was the Hosselu for us. 2 Declan Rice free kicks in 13 minutes. We had the Madrid moment for us, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, even though it's 1 game. I think we're maybe favourites.
All right. Okay, so
I don't like that tag because then you set yourself up for failure. But
now PSG are building, by the way, a super team. Like the talent that they have at the disposal is crazy. But I've always felt that we are a great match for PSG in terms of what we possess. The baseline requirement to beat Real Madrid is very similar to the baseline requirement to beat PSG. Get as many 6-foot+ units on the pitch and outrun them. You can do that, and we did that at the Emirates as well. They obviously have.
We beat them 2-0.
Talent. Yeah, we beat them 2-0. Their midfield hasn't changed, by the way, from the Emirates game. Their attacking front line has got better, obviously, with Dembele now available and Kvaratskhelia. But I think we're a great match for PSG. I know we're getting carried away a little bit, but we have to, right? But if we get to the final, I just don't want Inter Milan. Like, I don't want Inter Milan, but then I'm thinking, do I want Barca as well with that front 3? But then I kind of back our back line,
mate,
out wide.
Sorry, Jurrien Timber, a fitter Ben White.
Yeah,
Jurrien Timber on Vinicius Junior. I've never seen a lockdown job like it.
What I have been saying on this pod, I've been saying it. Jurrien Timber is the best 1v1 fullback we've had since Ashley Cole. He's better than Tomiyasu. He's better than Sanya. What you saw, everyone wanted to see it as well. I think everybody was interested in the matchups of, like Rodrigo against Myles, Vinny against Timber. That was the big one. Yeah. And the first challenge was, again, like Jurrien Timber in the press, when you're back to goal, he just eats you up. Every single time, he doesn't let you turn, and he did that on Vinicius a couple of times.
We'll come to each individual
rounds,
for
but
sure.
He just gives you that risk security, doesn't he? So
I think just look. Like I've never seen a lockdown job like it, so I don't fear facing. Like if you watch, I just watched all the highlights of PSG and Villa and stuff, and the Barca stuff. Some of the defending and some of the spaces that they're running, like it's Dortmund pressing up, like they won't have, like Barcelona specifically against us, won't have the spaces that they had against Dortmund. And PSG, I think, won't be able to get their shots off in the same way that they did against Aston Villa. That's how they beat those 2 teams before we even think about how we can hurt them. So I would go into that game again. You're never fully confident because it's the Champions League and anything can happen. But I go into that game thinking there's no reason why we can't win this. You know what I mean? Like. So yeah, Rasmus says, have you booked your tickets to Munich yet? When would you? Because okay, say we get through against Madrid. I think if we got a good first round result against PSG, or if PSG go through, or Villa. By the way, I do not want to face Villa. I do not want to face Villa.
No, I don't as well. I don't want to face Villa.
I don't want to do that. This season, do you know what I mean? If this season ended in a semi-final second leg defeat to Villa, I'm not joking. I think I'd stop doing content about Arsenal.
No, you wouldn't.
For an hour.
For an hour. But I mean, like last time we faced Emery in the semi-final, look what happened. And it's that. Oh, it just worries me. It just worries me. Yeah. I'd rather play PSG, and I think we're a good matchup for them anyway.
Yes,
so would you go Munich then? Would you go,
mate? If we say we had a 3-0 first leg, let's say we went ways to Parc des Princes 1-2-0 or something. Let's say that happened. I would absolutely try and go. Yeah.
As in, getting a ticket would be very difficult. But as in, just go there.
The thing with Champions Leagues, I'd probably go. The thing with Champions Leagues is like, you could be the best team in Europe for 3, 4, 5. Man City were the best team in England for 7 years. They got 2 finals? It's just such a lottery. So you have to take it when you can. And I would, of course. I don't know how I'd get in, but
I'd probably fly out there, to be fair, and just watch it near the ground.
Yeah, it'd be unbelievable. Alejandro says, Alex, you're Spanish, ain't it, mate? But you tried. Thank you, Alejandro, for the super chat. But what an unkind comment.
So you weren't cooking?
Estoy muy sad. Ivan Smith says, who do you want in the final? Revenge for 2006 with Barca, denying Kane a trophy versus Bayern, or the tactical duel versus Inter?
I don't want to play Inter. I don't want to play Inter. They do scare me, to be honest. Oh, I'd probably go for Bayern. Oh, but it's in Munich, though.
It's in Munich.
Well, Chelsea did it. Chelsea did it in Munich.
You know what? We'll have to do. We've already done something that I didn't think was possible. So why can't?
Who cares? Bring it.
Bring it. Before we go to more glazing of the Arsenal team for a sensational performance, we should do thumbnail check. And I have to say, I gave out a 10 last week. I might have to give out another one.
You made a mistake. That is class, isn't it? It's so clean.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's the fact. It's like the attention to detail on like the skin tones and stuff. It's just so good.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that as well.
There is.
Where?
The hidden Rohan right there.
Oh, for God's sake!
It's really, really good. Like that's like even like the posture of Rice there suits it. It's unbelievable. The only one that maybe doesn't quite match is Arteta. But that's
it's kind of like his face
slightly white face, but it's so good.
9.2.
Oh, the UCL ball. Oh my goodness me, that is
he's cocked.
Forder. That is unbelievable.
He's cracked. He's
this
too
guy,
good.
man.
He's too good.
Come on, that's a 10.
9.2.
How is it 9? What do you want? What can this guy do to you?
It can never be a 10. It can never be. Because what you are alluding to there is he can't improve. And as you have already seen from this episode, this week's thumbnail, he has improved.
Oh, I missed things. I missed the Arsenal badge on Saka and the
it's going
badge
to
on Arteta's robe. Where's the badge on Arteta's robe? Oh, there's a little cannon on Arteta's robe.
Jeez.
And the Arsenal badge on his... That's really good.
That's pretty good.
It's really good. Bro took his teachers too seriously. You can always improve, Rohan. You can always improve. We'll talk on Dean Joyson. Juju, I'm just a nice guy. Sack me. Sue me. We've had a super chat in, which it's not in the spirit of the pod, but it's a very nice contribution to the channel. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Speak on Ødegaard. Strip the armband now, says Barracks, the official McFox.
We'll go for every player anyway.
Let's go through every single player. We will speak on Ødegaard. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's start with Mr. David Raya. I thought excellent cross-claiming. I think Courtois is probably the best goalkeeper in Europe. in terms of how quickly he gets up. But that individual skill, oh my goodness me.
Especially in a knockout game, Courtois is very clutch. And he almost kind of this scumbag something there with Courtois making some ridiculous saves. And he did it against Liverpool in the Champions League final as well. He made like 9 saves.
Yeah.
But David Raya, we look at Gabriel as being the lowest opportunity cost at Arsenal. David Raya is right up there as well. Like his first few months at Arsenal, from his debut to Luton away, very unpredictable. But then since then, he's been elite. And what I really liked about his performance was it gave me a lot of. It felt like a Manuel Neuer performance in terms of how aggressive he was. Like he always gives us that, but every single time Mbappe did manage to peel away, and it's very difficult to contain him there. David Raya was there; he was alert, the cross claiming as you alluded to, but also the bravery on the ball. I don't know if you remember those 2 moments where Kiwior, he gives him a really difficult pass twice in the first half and the second half, and it's just left foot pass from Raya, first time, sets us going. He's just fantastic. Like
he is fantastic. High Tech is saying Raya was a 9. What we say? I think we should rate people.
Yeah, 9. 9's fair.
I think because there was no like big save, which is not his fault. Like the in possession versus out of possession for a goalkeeper. Like I didn't see much out of possession. I suppose the Mbappe one, but it is at him. I give him an 8.5, just because I think we'll give it a lot of high ratings today. And it's not saying David Raya was bad, but yeah, I think he didn't make any like sort of clutch saves. So maybe that's kind of unfair on him. Myles.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous. Do you know what I felt like Myles' performance kind of encapsulated Arteta's iterations of the left back over the years. He gave the line breakers of Zinni that we became accustomed to in the 22-23 season, gave the lockdown defending that Tommy provided at left back against Salah, and then he gave his own blueprint as well, what we know he does so well in terms of receiving it under pressure, turning, and then breaking forward and opening the game up. That's crazy, like 18 years old, to do that against the final boss in a Champions League context. It's
insane. If I'm just going to go through quickly. So I think Arteta basically has, well, let me just put the whole team out on the pitch. Actually, no, wait, sorry. No. So he has one player. So he has one player here in the goalkeeper who obviously, is the goalkeeper. He's predictable. He does what he needs to do.
Yeah.
He then has, especially in possession, often 2, but sometimes 3 defenders, because it depends on what the other fullback's doing, but often three defenders back. Yeah. He then will have a midfielder high in the pocket alongside and I'm not using the numbers here, I'm just saying what he's asking, what we can predict from an Arteta 11.
Yes.
Then he'll often have a winger this side and a winger that side, right?
Yeah.
That leaves you with 1, 2, 3 players basically who are a bit more free. Because the wingers have structurally have this job. The 9, is dropping in and out, but has to retain the last line. There's often one midfielder, I would say, it's usually Rice at the minute, stepping up. I'm not saying this is rigid, but I'm saying in terms of predicting what the game model is going to be. The midfield tends to shift around. So whether it's Ødegaard dropping out and being high, whatever it might be, it's 3 players basically. And I think one of these 3 at the moment is Myles. And I really, as in players that have a bit more freedom, have a bit can take a bit more risk in possession. Myles is not only the player that I think is like our outside of that structure. If you just do this and say, right, there's 3 players. If you don't have this player or one of these 3 players, you don't win this game, because I think I would prefer maybe, let's say we take one off and we have we know for sure there's going to be a number 9, there's another midfielder free. Or let's say we take one of the defenders out, so we know this is the structure in possession, but these things are more up for debate. I think basically, sorry to move the numbers around, I think basically this isn't really up for debate in an Arteta system, but these 3 are, and Myles has to be one of those players. And I really, really hope he can grow into this being unpredictable, being one of the 3 players I see in Arteta's system who can show us something. And I just really don't want Arteta to go back to that being too predictable, that being too safe, that player being too sure of themselves. Myles is one of the 3 players I would say who I don't know what's going to happen next. And that is crucial. And that's crucial to beat Madrid.
Yeah. And I think what he's provided every single time he's played is that game-breaking ability of he's under pressure, he's got a man tight on him, and the easy thing to do is just to play a wall pass back to the centre-back and you go again. But Myles has the confidence and the ability of, again, it's a very risky move because it's creating that vertical mindset that we became accustomed to in the 22-23 season that was regularly a part of our game. But Myles has been doing that time and time again. And it's like the build up to the Thomas Partey shot. It comes from Myles. Again, he's under pressure by Rodrigo, shoulder drop, turns, drives forward, and it opens the game up. This is where individual quality always dictates, because you can have the structure and you can have the ideas, but it's down on the players to then win those battles when you are 1v1. And Myles does it all the time. And to do that on a Champions League night as well against that sort of team, it speaks volumes of his character.
Considering where he was in terms of where he was doing exactly this stuff, all the stuff that you see on like the academy comps, like he's doing all this stuff and having that freedom in the middle of the park to just kind of do what he needs to do. But the progression to go from that in the one season to doing it against Real Madrid in the Champions League is like...
And do you know what it is as well? Like we talk a lot about the injuries and the turbulence that we've endured this season a lot. But that turbulence in terms of unavailability of certain players has opened that door for Myles, and he's taken it with both hands, and that's a massive positive, because as much as we all love Mikel Arteta, if we had better luck with injuries, I'm very confident that we wouldn't have seen Myles have this many minutes. Very confident in saying that. And he's also mentioned as well, like before the season started, they kind of had an idea of how many minutes Ranieri and Myles would play. But it was something that was a lot lower than what we've seen now, and it's just a case of every single time he has been given an opportunity, he's taken it. And it goes back to that Ian Wright interview that you shared as well on X, where he's just not afraid of the occasion. And you can literally take that interview, you can recycle it now, and then you'll realize, wow, this performance, he knew he was capable of doing that. And he's class.
David Raya with an 8.5 and Myles with an 11. From FK. 11 out of 10. Let's move across to Jakub Kiwior. Thoughts on Kiwior?
Fair play to him. Like from my perspective, very worried about him. Not gonna lie, that first couple of minutes where he just missed the ball for, oh God, dear Lord.
Yeah, there was a moment, wasn't there?
And then he sells Saliba short as well. Do you remember that pass? About goodness me, I'm thinking, oh, please get him off the pitch. But then second half, honestly, he was really, really good. There was one moment where Mbappe squared him up and his long legs wrapped around, wins it. And the fans, really felt that, because they knew Kiwior. If there was a player who you felt was going to let us down, you could sense that energy from Kiwior. And listen, he deserves a lot of praise, because I think he's got a lot of stick, including from myself, and people doubting him. And he showed he stepped up, and massive props to him. And that's why I'd give him like close to a 9, not a 9 because it wasn't a complete performance, but close to a 9 in the sense of who he is as a player, and what we can really ask from him. So.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's like, I don't think he was performing at the level. I don't think he was like a 9 out of 10 in the Saliba sense.
Yeah,
but for Kiwior,
exactly. Yeah,
I think I've just built the 11 here, so we can go through and pick out the ratings. So yeah, right. We can't do 0.5s. We're gonna have to I'll give Raya a 9. I'll be nice.
Cool.
MLS is getting an 11. Kiwior, I think I'm going to give Kiwior an 8, because he had a few dodgy moments, and what I will say is, I think he dealt with Mbappe well. I think we could have been even more aggressive if he'd grown into the game a little bit sooner. I think by the end of the game, he was meeting him quite high, but that was left a lot to Saliba early doors. And I think Kiwior was basically worried about going over the shoulder, and that's fine. 60 minutes onwards, he started to grow into the game, and I think he really built and grew in possession. But probably the first 60 minutes, there was quite a conservative aspect, which, by the way, is what I wanted, just to be totally clear. But yeah, so yeah, I would give Kiwior an 8. Happy with that?
Yeah, happy with that.
Let's move on to his centre-back partner, Big Willie.
Big Willie. I'd give him a 9. I thought he was fantastic, both in and out of possession. There was one moment where he slipped. Like, that happens, But I think with Saliba, it's interesting because I actually feel in the high octane moments in the Champions League, he's not necessarily being consistent. Like the Porto games, I didn't think he played particularly well last season. The home game against Bayern, I didn't think he played particularly well. But his last 2 big high octane games in the Champions League knockout rounds, forget about PSV, but like proper games, Bayern Munich away last season, he was one of the few who stepped up. And on Tuesday, everything that came his way, he dealt with. Like that moment where Saka sells him short with the back pass, he's constantly scanning and he's recognizing the run that Mbappe's going to make. So he holds his position, and then when he finds the opportunity to then cut off that supply line from Vinny, he does it. Like those things get unnoticed, and he did a couple more in the second half as well. But what I really love about Saliba this season, I've mentioned it many times, in that on the ball, he usually is that first player to play the ball inside the block to a Thomas Partey, to a Myles, who then takes the next action to get us going. And it starts from Saliba. And I thought he did that really well. There are caveats, which I do want to get onto about Madrid and what they did tactically. But yeah, I thought he was fantastic. And he's just a Rolls Royce of a player.
I think even for Saliba, it was a 9.
Yeah.
I think just up the opposition he was against, you can't argue with it. It's an unbelievable performance. Timber 10, no debate. That is one of, if not Timber's best performance in an Arsenal shirt. I've never seen someone give, like Vinny Jr. It's easy to just watch it and be like, oh yeah, well of course he did. The amount of tricks Vinny Jr. has in his locker to deal with fullbacks, he had none of them. Absolutely none of them. He was tracked absolutely everywhere. Distances were perfect. He was locking him off. He was physical when he needed to be physical. He dropped off when he needed to drop off. He got close. I honestly, I've never seen a fullback performance like that. I'm going on Saturday Social on Saturday, and I will, and basically have to pick like your best 11. It's like the best 11, best player in each position from the last 8 in the Champions League. Timber, spoiler alert, is going to be my right back, and I will not budge because I don't care. There's no one else in Europe who could do that performance that he had against Vinny Jr. There is no one else. There is not a right back you can name who could do that against Vinny Jr.
He didn't get past him once.
No.
Didn't get past him once. And this is why I'm so big on Timber. This is why I've been very bold on Timber, been saying like it's not recency bias, and it's not just, you know, the sample size still isn't massive because it is only this season. But look at the players that he's come up against this season and what he has done. It's incredible. Like his fundamentals, his outright fundamentals as a defender are crazy. He gets low, lowers his center of gravity, it gives him that stability, and he's then side on, which means that he can go both ways. If they come inside, he can get to you. If you go down the byline, he can get to you. He's not flat-footed. He's always alert. And I've been crying out for good 1v1 defenders at Arsenal. I'm sick and tired of some of the fullbacks I've seen over the years who just get absolutely ripped.
I'm sick and tired of it, you say this.
Genuinely. Like to win the Champions League, you need to win your 1v1 battles. And Pep said, when Pep won the Champions League, he said the big turning point was that Arsenal game in January 2023, where he changed it. He brought on a Kanji to kind of mitigate the influence of Saka. He did really well in that regard in the second half. And then he realized that to win these games against the top wingers out there, you need out and out top quality defenders. And that's what Timber gives us. And we are so lucky to have it. And again, when we're talking about value for money in the Arteta era, this is another player who's creeping up that list of the Gabriels, so.
Nathan says he was amazing defensively, but extremely cautious in the way that weakened our right attack. I actually don't agree.
Yeah.
I think what it is with Timber, in terms of escaping a telephone box, he's got that on lock.
Yeah.
It's the blend on the right-hand side. If we had more of a runner alongside Saka and Timber, if we had someone who was more like I'm not saying Ben White, but someone who had that skill, who could make those runs inside. Martin Ødegaard wants to stand and receive and drop out and receive and wants to play the 1-2 passes. It's the blend for me, and George and I were watching it on the rewatch. The reason it works is the blend of skills with Ben White and Saka and Ødegaard. There was a moment where Ødegaard plays it inside and Timber again just stands still, even though there's a clear run to make because he wants it to feet.
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing. It's only bad if the other two players around you also want to have it to feet. It's just, like you've just got to find that blend. So I think Timber's improving going forward. I still think he's crossing, and maybe his sort of final ball could use a little bit of work in terms of variety. But I'm nitpicking.
Yeah, I mean, we have to also consider the fact of the number of games that Ben White, Ødegaard, and Saka are able to play with each other. It takes time to develop that synergy as well. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Thomas Partey, I think I'd be happy to give a 9.
He was incredible.
There
were so many individual battles here. The two centre backs against Mbappe, our fullbacks against their wingers, and Partey's job on Bellingham. He did a number on him. And again, I think in this game, Arteta got it spot on in terms of the balance between ideological and pragmatism. We pressed high. This idea that Arsenal cautions thing, no, we pressed high, but what we did is we gave ourselves that insurance policy that we usually do at the back, where we kept 5 back, our back 4, and Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey's job was to deny Jude Bellingham from being able to get on the ball, turn, carry, make those runs in the box, and he did it superbly. The only moment Bellingham had in that game where he was able to influence was, ironically, that pass from Timber. Partey did a number on him, and
he was excellent. The only reason I wouldn't give him a 10, because I think he was fantastic, is the game really suited him. The spaces that Madrid have, and the reason I want to give, Timber had a great performance and was up against difficult circumstances. MLS had a great performance and was up against difficult circumstances. Obviously, playing against Bellingham's a difficult circumstance, but it suits his game. If I could see Partey in a game like this put in that performance in smaller spaces where he doesn't have where he has someone stepping onto him, pressing. What did you say about? It wasn't you. It was James who said that Madrid have something like the literally the lowest amount of tackles in the middle third in the entirety of La Liga. In that area of the pitch, they don't step onto you. So if he had a bit more pressure and time, I probably would give him a 10. But yeah, I think he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Deck. I don't think there's anything other than a 10 you can give him.
100, 1,000. This is why we signed him. Yep. This is exactly why we signed him. And he said this post Man City. We've spoke about it many times. Our record against the Big Six has been ignited through Declan Rice's inclusion in this team. You can go through all the games. I think it's 41 points in 50 out of 50 something points, and you could go through them and 80 to 90% of those games, Rice is contended for man of the match. And then you see what he was able to do against Madrid. And what's actually really frustrating is the fact that we've not utilized his ball striking enough since he's came to the club. He kicks through the ball so cleanly. Yep. It's incredible. And that free kick, that is one of the best free kicks I've ever seen, because not only is Thibaut Courtois is about 10 foot tall, and he's backed himself to beat him on his side. Do you know how crazy that is?
It's
the audacity.
The picture I can't stop staring at. Don't know if you saw, I think it was Chris MD who tweeted it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah,
it's the picture. Let me just find it. This one. You literally, I'm just going to present. Sorry, one sec. I'm just going to show my screen. What?
It's actually mental.
That you would not move that ball if you were placing it better.
It's actually mental.
Insane. Oh, piss off, Barry, in the comments. Been done so many times before him, not even worth watching. Yeah, mate. Man. A Champions League quarterfinal where you scored 2 free kicks in the space of 13 minutes, one of which you put the ball there against the best goalkeeper in Europe. That happens all the time, man. You're so right. I bet you can't run 20 meters without getting out of breath. Shut up.
You're actually triggered.
Do you know what I mean? Shut up.
It's a Yadar, isn't it?
Or as George calls it, a Yurda.
No way.
Yeah. I don't want to sound like a Yurda here. Martin Ødegaard. I think unfortunately, I think it's a 7 or an 8. I'd love to give him higher. I think what he did provide us in terms of dropping out the block, and because Madrid are very narrow, and he did get us up the pitch. In the final third, I think there were some nice moments. There was a couple of nice balls. You do realise his pass appreciation when you're watching him live is absurd, and we're kind of used to it. I guess it's the same thing again. We're all looking for more influence, and maybe that's the wrong lens to view him through. I don't know, but
I'll be honest. He grew into it. I'd say the first 30 minutes from Ødegaard wasn't good. I don't think. After that, he grew into it. Because we won, I'll be nice and I'll give him an 8. But if I'm being honest, I think it was like a 7.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Rice doesn't score that free kick. We play the exact same game.
This is what I mean. Yeah.
Marino scores at the very end. We get an Mbappe breakaway. Who do people talk about?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's fair, by the way, because it would be other people's fault. But I think we're all wanting more. We all want more. And with Saka back, I think it's a putting your stamp on it. And if you can't do it physically, you have to do it through your running. Sorry, not because he runs off the ball. You have to do it through your influence on the ball. I have to see more aggression in your play. I feel it's also regressive and not progressive. And I don't mean in progressive passing because he's there, but I mean in terms of that running the attack thing. It's
I think out of everyone, you know, like from a Kiwior standard, he was outstanding in that context. I think Martin Ødegaard was the one player who was below everyone else personally, by his own standards, and that's been the story of his season as well, really, hasn't it? So I think
for me it's a 7. You want to give him an 8?
No, I said because we won, I'm like I'll give him an 8, but if I'm being fair, it's a 7. Yeah.
So Saka is a funny one because I felt he grew into the game. So I think he was absolutely extraordinary for periods of that game and like performing at a 10, but it wasn't a completely consistent performance for me. So
I'm giving him a 9 personally because when you consider the context of him not being close to full fitness, the Everton game kind of showed that Saka's not there yet, and that's understandable. What he was able to do in the context of not being fully fit against the type of team that we came up against, the magnitude of the game, and what he did in the second half in terms of winning those crucial fouls. He had Bellingham as well. He was some of the things he was doing to Bellingham as well was absurd. So I actually, for me, that's one of my favorite ever Saka performances with everything taken into consideration. And that's why I want to ask you what your favorite Saka performance is of all time. Of all time.
Favorite
and chat you as well.
Saka
Join in.
Yeah, let us know in the chat what you think.
Yeah. Man United 22.
Yeah, United at home 22-23.
That's up there. Leicester at home this season as well was insane. I know Leicester are pony,
but ran that game.
Yeah.
Liverpool
against
home,
against Nuno Mendes as well this season. That was insane.
Nuno Mendes was great.
Forest this season as well.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the problem is he's so consistent. It's hard to be like, that. Yeah. Southampton this season single-handedly got us the win. Forest at home. Liverpool this season. Liverpool home 24-25. Man United. I mean, it's crazy that one person has this many performances that you could put forward. Forest. There's been some extra. Like the problem is it's difficult because he's so consistent. That's why he can't get a 10. Is there was like a period where, but also to be honest, we weren't getting the ball to him, so maybe that's unfair a little bit. Watford. Watford goal in the that's one of my favourite goals he's ever scored.
21-22, wasn't
it? Not a professional says, neither were you, mate. People keep saying we will park a disgusting bus next week. Something tells me that would be a mistake. Allowing them to grow into the game is dangerous. Yeah, I think, joking aside, I think we would all sit in a low block and just park the bus because it'll make us feel best. I think we'll play basically the same game. I think we'll try and control. I think we'll try and control the football. I think we'll press. We'll probably be slightly less aggressive, and slightly more conservative with our passing, if we can be.
What we will do is exactly the same as what we did on Tuesday. We'll press high, but we won't commit ourselves fully. We'll keep 5 back to give ourselves an overload at the back versus then front 4. And we'll be willing to suffer as a unit. The only thing that I think might happen is that first 20 minutes, Madrid, that stadium, that still scares me. That stadium does some magical things, well, all sorts of things. And that referee is going to be on one as well. So that first 20 minutes, I think we might see ourselves dial up a little bit more pragmatic, slightly.
Mate, I've got an absolutely crazy shout for a lineup.
Are you going
I'm not saying it live. I'll put it in the super chat.
What, the lineup?
As in someone I'd not play. Look at the super chat. I think. I basically think it will be pretty much the same. Look. Ultimately, Mikel Arteta is not going to. Mikel Arteta is going to try and win at the Bernabeu because he's Mikel Arteta, whether we like that or not.
Yeah.
Like it's who he is. It's just who we are, mate. They're losing to Frankfurt. Merino, I don't see anything less than Well, if I'm being fair, for Merino, for Merino playing centre forward out of position against Real Madrid, he scores. I think he's brilliant. I think he helps us out a lot in terms of receiving centrally. What is
for Merino? It's a
what's
9.
poor about? I think it might be a 10 because in terms of what Merino could deliver at number 10, at number 9 against Real Madrid in a quarterfinal, I think that's a 10 performance.
That's fair. I still just think there were a couple of moments again where we do find him centrally, and he was dropping in to give ourselves that +1 against Madrid's pivot within our 3-2-3 too. But there were times where he was too slow on it and he got dispossessed, and then Madrid were able to then get forward. So I saw that 2 or 3 times. And that's something that Merino can do, though. That's something that's not exclusive to being a centre forward. That's something Merino should be a little bit more secure in. So I actually didn't think his overall play was as good as the Fulham games and the Everton games. But what he consistently gives, the threat that he provides in box situations is crazy. He's been doing it from the very moment he signed for Arsenal. Now, there are a lot of areas within his game that I still need to see more of personally, and the jury is still out. But every single time we are in the final third, Merino, the threat he poses and the fact that he always gets on the end of at least one good chance per game, that's not luck. That is a player who is very intelligent in his movement and his spacing and his understanding. And his finishing as well is actually crazy. The way
I didn't realize till I got home how good that finish was.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's really good. Sorry, I cut you off.
No. That was it.
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll go for 9. I just think I almost want to encourage him. I mean, like with a 10. Martinelli. Honestly, on the rewatch, because I thought Martinelli was great on the night, but Martinelli was a proper threat, and he got the ball into the box a number of times.
Yeah,
I can't see why he's not rated the same as Saka.
100%. And the level of work he did to protect Myles as well in a lot of situations, that can't be forgotten. And every single time he was receiving the ball, Valverde is difficult to get past. He's causing real.
George, I'm rating Martinelli higher than you.
No, I think George is alluding to Merino.
George, let us know. I can't believe I'm rating Martinelli higher than you.
I actually think, when we're talking about unsung heroes of the game, Martinelli's up there because I don't see many people talk about Martinelli's performance.
His crossing. Oh my goodness me. I'm rating Martinelli higher. I think in terms of his crossing into the box and what he provide and beating his man consistently. Look, my thing with Martinelli all season and all the stuff that we've been saying on the pods and stuff. My thing with Martinelli all season is I need you firstly to access these spaces and not get constantly funneled out to here and actually access the box from here, which he started to do. Still a little bit too wide for me, but he's started to do. I need you to beat your man, which he's done. And I need you to show centrally what I know you can do. And he's started to do all 3 of those things. So he's for me, he's providing what I expect Martinelli to provide. Should we move on from it is a different question. But I think in terms of what I expect of Martinelli at left wing in this system, my answers certainly in the last sort of 5 games have been certainly what's the word? Quelled. My concerns have been quelled. Is that a phrase?
Yeah, that's the one.
The ref. Final. So how bad? I asked George this because obviously when you're at the stadium, you can't really tell.
It was not that good. I'll tell you
really?
that. No,
what are you giving him?
I'd give him like a 6. I don't know how Bellingham didn't get a yellow card in that game. Genuinely.
What are you saying in the chat? The problem is that obviously at the game, you're just like anything.
Yeah.
Literally, like I haven't even seen it, and I'm like, how?
It was like the Myles one, right? Against Kudus, against West Ham. I went to that, and everyone was like screaming at us, and I was like, nah, come on, that is a red card. It's anything, anything. People. Will go.
Mate, in the stadium, it's tough. It's tough.
Don't get fooled by the fact he gave Camavinga a red card. That was an easy red card to give. The fact that he was not going to play in the second leg anyway. That referee was not good. He was not good. Trust me.
So overall, I think that's an average of 9, basically.
Yeah, the thing is, though, some players' 9s hold more weight than others. We're not able to do halves here. So, like, for me, my top 5 performers from the game, it's difficult, but I felt Declan Rice has to get it. because of the game changing moments. I went for Saka second because of the moments he produced as well. Then Myles, then Timber, and then Saliba. And that's very unfair to Thomas Partey, who I would have been, I'd say, like pushing. But yeah, like those are my top performers of the game. 2
bits that I want to get to before I want to make. I feel like TCP Live has got less interactive, and I want to interact more.
Go on then.
That's how I feel. So basically, I want to start leaving like the last half an hour just for like chat, for chat with, because I think that's really good. Like we can do analysis in the beginning, and then leave the chat to the end. Because I think I just really want to chat to you guys because I feel like there's so many comments. You guys engage so brilliantly.
Yeah,
but yeah, we want to get to as many as we can. But there are a couple of things we need to come to before we do that. First one, my sweet prince, is this: Arteta and Berta are keen admirers of Dean Huijsen, could be signed if Kiwior is sold. Liverpool have a firm interest. Them, Arsenal and Chelsea are the leading candidates, but not the only ones, says David Ornstein on an Athletic Q&A. I don't see Dean Huijsen as a replacement for Kiwior. No disrespect to Kiwior, but that's, if we're targeting Dean Huijsen, I'm telling you, this guy's coming in and he's playing. Or he's playing pretty soon. So if that's true, that's massive. Equally, this might be the sort of signing. Like if we're targeting this player, I think we have to think about it like not as like a backup. Like it's like who's leaving. You know what I mean? Like that's how highly I rate Dean Huijsen.
Yeah.
And this might be one where you get so Madrid.
Yeah.
Don't get him. You know what I mean? It's that sort of signing.
I can't see it happening personally because of what we have to us. But I have to say though, we did a live before about priorities in certain positions and where we kind of rank them in terms of the summer. And I've always felt central centre back / right back, right centre back. That is an area we need to address because of Tomiyasu not being someone who can give us that reliability from an availability point of view. And this kind of fits into that. However, like I just can't see how is he going to get himself in the team? Like as good as he is.
Yeah, without a sale. And then the question is, who do we sell? And I don't want to sell anyone. so
I don't see how this would happen. I think this is very much that position in the squad. Bring in a central centre back / right centre back, right back. It doesn't matter which. Like, if you want Arsenal to go for a right back in the summer, that means you're prioritising Ben White given centre back minutes, I think, or a Timber given centre back minutes. More of that rotation there. But if you're going for a right centre back / central centre back, then you're very much keen on the idea of Ben White and Timber giving you enough at right back. It doesn't matter which way you go, just pick away. You only need one player. Yeah. I just feel like Dean Huijsen, he's just too good to
I think it would only make sense with a sale or maybe there's something we don't know. Like, this is the thing, we keep talking about this big sale, right? Ultimately, it might have to come from the defense. Who knows? Like, I'm not saying I would do it, but look, let's put it this way. I think people misunderstand about the sporting, like the whole, Berta talking to Nico Williams, all these sorts of things. Good. We spoke about this last TCP Live, didn't we?
Yeah,
Arsenal want, and a lovely guy I met at a restaurant today was an Arsenal fan. We were talking about it, and he was like, "Oh mate, apparently we want Nico Williams." So I'm like, I'm with Nico Williams, but his justification was because Berta had met him, and I was like, I want Berta to meet every single prospect in Europe. This is the thing with the job of a sporting director, to know where everyone is going. So I'm glad we're in conversations with Dean Huijsen, because if a situation arises, he is one of the best centre backs in Europe. Do we then go and spend the money to do it? I think he's got £50 million release clause. It's a very different question.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely mustard though when I watch him.
Yeah, he is mustard. I just think if he's smart, and we don't have a big sale. I hope we don't have a big sale there. Yeah. But if he's smart, he doesn't pick Arsenal for his own his own future.
Not without a big sale.
Rotation. People say, we need to rotate. Yeah, but players don't see it that way. No. They want to play every single game. And yeah, I can't see that happening. But he's top. He is.
Nathan Piper says TCP Live's got too formal. Do you agree?
Yeah, because we do the main pod, but then it's kind of like, how do you balance it?
It's too formal.
I mean, we said some outrageous stuff.
We need to sing more. That's what we need to do.
Oh God, we're definitely not doing that.
you remember when you sung Viva La Vida like this? I used to rule.
No,
the
I think I was
world.
absolutely killing it at the start, and then it just dropped off.
And then the second thing I wanted to talk about was this. Can everyone hear this?
We don't come to football to watch Brighton centre back play.
Oh, I've not seen this.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Sorry, everyone. Let's watch this. Has football become more boring?
We don't come to football to watch Brighton centre back play, do we? We just don't. We're seeing so much of defenders being on the ball, and I thought, you know something? I'm watching constantly goalkeepers and defenders on the ball constantly. So I went back to the last 5 years of my career. First, I've not been on Monday Night Football for a few years, but I actually wanted to go on Monday Night Football on Monday night. My last 5 years at United, the 5 players who had the most passes in the league in 2006-07 were Fabregas, Scholes, Alonso, Gilberto Silva and Lampard. Mainly midfield players, holding midfield players that you're dictating the game. They're the players who had the most possession in the ball in my last 5 years in my career. They're players I want to see on the ball, just most generally. Some of them maybe not, but most of them. In the last 5 years in the Premier League, well, last year, Virgil van Dijk, Joseph Guardiola, Levi Colwill, William Saliba, 4 defenders in the top 5. Before was Rodri, Lewis Dunk, Virgil van Dijk, William Saliba. The year before that, Lewis Dunk. We don't come to football to watch Brighton centre back play, do we?
What do we think of that, Rohan?
Right. Okay, I don't agree with it. I do hear what he's saying, though. I don't agree with it because I think, right, what's happened here? This is homogenous behavior, right? Have I pronounced that right? Yeah.
You have, darling. You're doing very well.
Okay. Since Pep Guardiola has established his name, he is the one who has taken Johan Cruyff's ideas further forward and he's implemented it in a different way, right? Pep Guardiola has become the trendsetter. And what we have established over the years, I'll get to it, but what we've established over the years is the success that Pep has had, right? And how his teams play. Every single team looks to achieve that now. Why? Because of the success that Pep Guardiola has had. And also, I think there is a thing here where, like Vincent Kompany, for example, Vincent Kompany got the job for Bayern Munich because he was true to his principles and a way of playing that is perceived as the way that can succeed at a big club. And that's why he got the Bayern Munich job. Mm-hmm. And all the other teams are doing this now as well because they see this as a way of the trend, but also helping yourself get up the ladder. I'm a firm believer of that. And that is then installed in the players. And because there's a lot of emphasis on press baiting, there's a lot of emphasis on maintaining specific structure, to deny transitions, etc., it does reduce the level of freedom that players will have in certain teams. It does, you know, and that's why people of the old age, right, go back to the early noughties, before that, straight to the 2010s, like 13, 14 is when I think it started to change a lot more. You know, it wasn't like that back then, and it was very much like, it was less emphasis on structure, more emphasis on individual quality and freedom and being able to express yourself. And I think there's also there in grassroots now as well, where like Arsenal's academy, go and watch some of the games. Like I saw the Max Dalman one against Man United, right? Have a look how they play. It is identical to how a lot of other teams in the Premier League play now. Literally identical. These are like kids in being trained in this way. So there is something there where the older generation of fans will not accept this because it is restricting the freedom. Now, for me, I don't believe that's become less entertaining for myself, personally. I still enjoy football so much, but I understand why people don't like it because there is a lot more emphasis on things like press baiting, where the centre-backs are looking to provoke a jump. If someone doesn't jump, we'll stay on the ball. We're happy to kind of roll it forward, keep going. So I hear that. Whereas before, go and watch Arsenal's Invincible season, right? It's just bang, long ball, and bang, back to you. And it's non-stop. And there's good play in there as well, etc. I'm not saying that. But it's so much more direct. It's so much more fast-paced. And fans of the older generation, they can't accept that because that's not what they've watched in their peak years of watching football, you know. And that's what it is. So I do understand what you're saying, but I don't hold that belief from a personal point of view.
I think basically, can I just say as well, people will think I'm protecting my Sky overlords, and that's absolutely fine. I actually think Gary Neville is a really nice guy. Like, he seems like a really nice guy. And I don't think you can say that for everyone. I think he seems like a really, really lovely dude. And so what I think this is a frustration, as you're saying, a tactical homogeneity, and at games like, to be fair, the United and City games, like I get that, and it was boring as a spectacle. Like I don't disagree with that, but I think the solution, he's going, well, we need to go back, and I'm saying no, the solution is going forward. I think for me, and sort of talking about modern football and how boring it is. For me, I think about it a different way. If we accept, and we have to accept, that the game, let's say 20 years ago, was tactically less developed, was physically less developed, was mentally less developed, was 1%ers less developed. There was no, woke set piece coaches and all this stuff. If we're accepting, and I think David Seaman spoke about in his podcast that the game has got 30% faster since 2004, that the guys at Arsenal estimate. So basically, the game has just got, in every sense, has got way better. People are better prepared. People are better drilled, physio, conditioning, everything, right? Then the guys who are putting up the same numbers, if everyone's better, the guys putting up the same numbers is even more impressive now than it was in 2000 or whatever it was. Salah and Haaland and these guys, and maybe you get less of them because the general bar has risen and there's a more proliferation of information now. Like, you don't just get one guy, like Man City had to go and look around Man United's training ground to find out what they were doing when they built their new training ground in 2012. Now you can just Google it. There's so much information, the video scouting, there's so many data pools of things, whatever. So the game is so much more democratized. So then for me, when a team does dominate in a way like Man City, or does a player dominate, that makes it so much better to me, because the game is so good that if Mbappe can still put up the season he's having, or Rafinha can put up the season he's having, or Doué or whoever it is, that's so much more exciting. And I don't understand why that's not spoken about. The fact that the game is so much better, but there's still Harry Kane putting up those kind of numbers. That is just, you got to marvel at these guys. And his point about, and I think he's looking at centre backs. Centre backs are now as good on the ball as midfielders were 20 years ago. Is that not impressive? Is that not wow, that's insane? Yeah. I get the tactical homogeneity point, and I don't want boring games. But I think what you're doing is you're picking out one game, which is a very specific thing, and not looking at the average quality of Brighton versus Aston Villa now compared to 20 years ago is worlds apart. Yeah. Worlds apart. The average game has got way better.
Yeah, and that's why I hate this idea of, peak Barclays nostalgia, like Sunderland back in the day with flipping Asamoah Gyan. These players cannot compete with the players in the mid-tables nowadays. They cannot compete with them. And this is why I said, I do think that the quality this season of the big six as a collective has dropped off. And I think that's more down to the injuries and the fixture schedule, etc. But the teams from 6 all the way to the relegation zone, right? Mate, I've watched Southampton this season, right? Yeah. I know they're bad, but some of the stuff they do, right, is actually impressive. Seriously, they're better than Leicester as well. Leicester, I think, for me, are the worst team in the league. I actually think they're
trying to throw us off the scent. He's trying to throw us off the scent. We know you're a fan.
But the level of the teams in the Premier League now, right, is crazy. And I think all it is down to the fact that some people can't accept that their ideologies and their way of seeing football has moved beyond. He's moved past that. So, and I don't think they can accept it. So,
which one comes in? That's very unfair on past players. They played at a time when the game had 20 years less to develop. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But my point is not that that's unfair on them. My point is they had the floor of where football was at the top level, in the kind of Rooney, the players at a mid to bottom of the table Premier League team 20 years ago, compared to the players at mid to Dibbling and Mohamed Kudus is in a relegation fight. That's insane. He's not, but you know what I mean. The fact he's bottom of the league. Paquetá, if you go through West Ham's team, or you go through Bournemouth team or Brighton or whoever you want to pick in that mid area, they're insane. They're insane. And so it's not. I don't think it's about the past players were brilliant for their time, but they were made to look better. I think by the floor. I think the floor has raised. So therefore, the guys who are still here, even with the floor raised, it's so impressive. I think.
It is more impressive. I do hear the argument though of there being less emphasis on individuality on players, and I think that for me, like this is why people have really enjoyed the Champions League this season. Well, they tend to enjoy the Champions League anyway when it gets to the latter stages, like Desiree Doué, like that type of goal, that type of finish. You know, that's stuff that people love to see. They love to see that more than the tactical details. So I agree. I think you've summed it well there. Like the game has improved so much more, but I think there is an element of there's a lack of individuality, restrictions of certain players from actually being able to fully express themselves. But at the same time, that is also limited by the fact that teams are also a lot more disciplined and are willing to suffer defensively. So there's less space for players to show that as well. But it is an interesting argument. Like I had this conversation at work a lot as well, and a lot of people just. They're sick and tired of seeing like
nostalgia.
They're sick and tired of seeing like 4-2-4 build up, you know, press baiting and stuff.
I get that.
Yeah,
but it's also that thing of like you look back on certain careers. Like I saw someone tweet today. It's so true. Like Vinny, certain player, like you go back through Zidane's career, right? I don't want to do this, but go back through Zidane. Zidane is considered an icon of the game, right?
Yeah.
If you go through his career, he had really bad years, but because he wasn't around in the social media era. You don't get that same. Everything isn't so hyper analyzed and sort of gone through. Like he had years where he did nothing basically, or he played for Bordeaux and Juventus and had basically nothing years. We didn't win anything, whatever. But you look back at his career and you remember all the highlights. Yeah. But right now, Vinny Jr. or Mbappe, I think they're, in my opinion, and again, someone said, if you give them these resources and you preach, they do just well. Yeah, they would. I'm not suggesting the players are somehow sort of ordained from God better now. They've grown up in better environments. But my point is that everyone has. So therefore, there's more players. So therefore, in my opinion, it's more impressive to stand out. So yeah, and I think in this social media era, we're constantly going, oh, that player's washed, whatever it might be. And there's constant debate. And there's so much information and media about players. You don't forget, you look back at the careers and you go, oh, there's 6 years where Gerrard went without a trophy or whatever it was. And you just don't think about that because you go, oh, well, no one compares to that. And you're thinking about the highlights of their entire career. It's basically like trying to compare how your life's going off Instagram. That's pretty much what you're doing. You're looking at someone's absolute best moments and comparing yourself. It's just not. Yeah. It's kind
of like giving like a really being confident in like me being confident in giving opinion on Pele. Like how can I give a confident opinion on Pele? Like. We know he's class, you know. We can do our research, but there's a huge element of that as well.
This might be a fair comment from Paul James. The game has evolved, but not necessarily improved, because I guess it depends what you think is improved.
Yeah, I think there's the argument of like if the previous generation had managers with similar ideologies and intent from the blueprint that Pep has kind of installed, and that's kind of cascaded throughout the entirety of football. If that was then there, like. Yep. Along with the improvements in nutrition, dietaries, and facilities, that'll be an interesting conversation, you know, for sure. To have one that we'll never be able to answer though.
And let's just not have it. Right. Let's do, as long as we can, interacting with you lovely, lovely viewers and listeners. Get your comments in. Get some debate started.
Can I just say, we are approaching the end game of Apprentice soon, so that's better for TCP Live, isn't it?
Footy edits. Guys, would you sell Ødegaard if it meant we are guaranteed to sign Cole Palmer? Anyone for a...
Next question?
Anyone for a drink?
I actually love Ødegaard as well, but I'm sorry, yes.
This version of Ødegaard, if I'm being fair, this version of Ødegaard in this team versus that version of Cole Palmer in that team, I don't think it's debatable. Well, say Palmer for the beginning of the season. I don't think it's debatable.
You also have to look at the environment Cole Palmer's in as well. Yeah.
We'll have a look.
Yeah,
we'll have a look.
Yeah. Who's that? Is it Steve McManaman?
Yeah, I think it's.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that on Instagram.
We'll have a look. Gosh, we'll have a look. Jonas says Sesko scouted. Yeah, we did a scouted on Sesko last summer, I think it was, but we'll do another one. We want to do an Isak scouted because we want a link. We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look.
Oh.
We've lost it, says Bulgarian Guna.
Cole Palmer is cold. I'm telling you, he is.
Keenan, come on, even you, even the biggest. I'm not saying the big Ødegaard.
I've been a big defender of Ødegaard on this podcast as well. Like Cole Palmer is class. Honestly.
This version of Ødegaard. This version. I don't think.
What about last season Ødegaard versus Pete Cole Palmer?
That's more of a debate. I think I'd keep Ødegaard for this team. I think I'd keep Ødegaard for this team. But this version of Ødegaard, the physical level he's displaying, the lack of impact on games.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what, it's close. It's very close.
Amit says Kiwior is going to get a good run of games, which would improve his value. How much is he worth?
About how much we paid for him?
Yeah, I think to the right buyer, 25 million.
Yeah,
25 million.
I think that would be very good business as well.
What's Rob Holding worth?
Not a penny. not even a... Where is he now? Chat, where is Rob Holding? Has he even played a game for Sheffield United?
George's most hated is Carragher. Yours is Rob Holding. I don't really know whose mine is.
I hate the fact that it's Carragher. Like
he hates him so much. It's so funny. Who? I don't know whose mine is. We're trying to talk about this today.
Yeah, Rob Holding. Oh, I can't stand Rob Holding.
George says, I don't like how the ESPN people talk about us. What they said, George, show us. We'll come back. We'll come back to them. Thank you for super chat. Very kind. Keenan said my name, pulled up my question, and then moved on without answering. Hashtag Alex out. What did you say, Keenan? I can't remember. That was a good question. If you played the second leg 100 times, how many times do Madrid go through?
With Real Madrid Juju. Gotta factor that in.
At 3-0 up on aggregate.
Okay, so 100 times, right? There's going to be some games where we go down to 10 men. Yeah. So we got to consider that.
Yeah.
Can we say we'd win 90%? Can we be confident we'd win 90?
I think 85 at 3-0. With this, with this Arsenal team, like don't overlay your Arsenal trauma onto this team. It's not the same team.
I tell you what, how scared are you going to be if we concede the first 5 minutes?
If we concede early to a transition, oh my goodness!
I think I'm going to feel sick. Honestly.
Football Pat says Sterling or Willian. Honestly, Sterling's done more for Arsenal at this point now. I think Sterling's done more on an Arsenal shirt than Willian now. How was Willian playing for Fulham the other day?
I think Willian was better.
Who's done? I'm going to put a poll in the chat.
Willian was better.
Who has done more for Arsenal? Let me put this in the chat. What do you think people will say?
Well, I think they'll say Willian. Willian. He had some decent games.
Why can't I? I can't do it on the YouTube app. Okay, give me a sec. Willian.
Fulham, West Brom. Played okay against City as well. Or at the Etihad.
Do you know what? To be fair, I look so depressed in that thumbnail. Jesus Christ. Start a poll. Who did /has done?
But Willian is worse because of the wages that he was on. The Willian.
Yeah, but we're just talking. We're just talking
player for player.
40. Who's also free.
We'll have a look.
We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. We've got many people saying Willian.
Yeah, I think Willian was better. But I still don't think Sterling.
It's getting closer now.
Still don't think Sterling's been given a fair crack. But yeah. That's a conversation for another.
We'll come back to that in a second. But most people are saying we've got 62% saying Willian. 60%. Yeah, it's close enough. Yeah. Ahmad says,
I can tell you, Andre, I am not better than both of them.
One day we should have like a cannon pod, like football match, like proper match. And we'll all see each other.
I'm going to nail you. gonna
Yeah,
nail
2
you.
foot
I'm gonna
early.
nail you. I'm leaving with something.
I'll leave with something. Little swap shirts. What would you get on the back of your shirt? Like a Cannon Pod FC, like Nike logo. What are you having on the back? And what number are you?
I'll go number 15 because 15th of July is my birthday. So number 15.
Boring.
Well, number 15, RJ Arsenal Bog.
RJ Arsenal or Rohan analysis. Rohan analysis. We had a comment on the last TCP live, which I think was really good, and it was about where we'd play. Here we are. Let me just get it up on the screen. So we'll finish the poll there. What are we saying?
So who won?
William, I think.
Yeah.
It was William with 64%. Very well done, William. Really proud of you, mate. This was last week. So we said on our last pod, basically asking your audience where they think we play. Alexis Mounier-Penny, holding midfielder, straight out of Mainz, currently on loan at Hoffenheim. Think of Angelo Stiller, Lewis Holtby, and Anton Stack type, only much worse. Rohani Jurrien, tricky playmaking winger / attacking midfielder that is, in spite of his size, feisty in the contest. Turkish league, nailed on. Probably at Trabzonspor, not having a good time there. Angling for a move back to the Belgian league or somewhere else in Europe to recapture his form and some much-needed minutes.
Feisty. I'd say it was feisty in football. In terms of tech, yeah, I've got nothing at that.
Yeah. What do you think about Rohani Jurrien?
It's all right.
Not a fan of that?
No. You?
I quite like Alexis Mounier.
Alexis, yeah. Especially
How
with
would
the
I
two.
pronounce-
What's that called? The two
Umlaut.
dots? Hmm?
An umlaut.
Is it? Oh, nice. It's good knowledge.
Yeah.
That. Umlaut. Oh.
Poole Town Alex versus Sterling. Mate, honestly, you should have seen me playing right back for Poole Town. I will say my football claim to fame is we were doing all right, and then I left, and then the next game, they lost 13-0.
What is the famous saying of Gilberto Silva? You notice his influence when it's not there.
Coincidence? I think not.
I think not.
I was holding it down on that right-hand side. 5 inches shorter than
Timber,
everyone
yeah?
around
Is that
me.
you?
That was me, mate. I was locking off every kid called George who was playing left wing. Who do you think would win, me versus you in a 1v1?
I'll back myself. Yeah.
I back you to tackle me, but weirdly I don't back you to get past me.
I reckon I'd be able to get in front and then
I'd crunch you.
shepherd it out for a goal kick.
I would crunch you, mate. I'm getting, that Jurrien Timber tech when he's
Oh yeah,
he's on
is
his
that
toes.
you? No, but I don't back myself to no. Okay, I don't back myself to get past you with me on the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're not getting past me though.
So neither of us are winning a 1v1, basically. Juju says he'd run under my legs. Footy Edit says, would you sell Gabriel for 100 million to Saudi and sign Hoyson for 50 million?
We will not have a look. No.
I feel like we're obsessed with new players. I'm not you, Footy Edits, but I just feel like we're obsessed with new players. Gabriel and Saliba are the best centre back partnership in the world. Just hold on to them as long as you can. If it was 200 million and free, then maybe have a look. But yeah, of course you'd have a look.
Go on, give us some more questions where we can actually say that.
Alex would be like Holding versus Villa.
Oh my god, the state of that fraud! Did you see that? Have you seen that little thing where he's just hopping as I think it's Ross Barkley on the ball? Get out of here, Rob Holding. Such a bomb.
Snob says 200 million to sell Gabriel and get Holding back for free. Okay, here's a question.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
We have to sell Gabriel. We have to.
All right.
No, we not have to. Not have to. But we're selling Gabriel. What's the fee you'd accept for Gabriel and we're getting Holding back to replace him? Like, at what point do you sell Gabriel?
No money.
No. What you have to accept? 250 million?
700 million.
700 million? to replace Gabriel with Rob Holding. He wasn't that bad. Keenan, who's someone who we haven't really been linked with that you'd most want us to get? I still really want Leao for us. That's a good question.
Do you know? All right. This is a good question as well with this. If there's one player that we've been linked with, heavily linked with in Arteta's tenure, that we've not been able to get over the line.
Rafinha.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mudryk under Arteta would cook. I hate this that he would. I'm sorry.
He's not playing football these days anyway.
Exactly. Alistair says prime Dua Lipa or prime Anne Hathaway.
Prime Dua Lipa.
I won't comment because I respect women.
No, I was not talking about their profession, Alexander.
Of course we are.
That's what I was talking about.
So you were talking about their profession?
Yes.
Name 3 Dua Lipa songs.
No Lie with Sean Paul.
Okay.
That counts, I guess. One Kiss.
Yeah.
I'm done there.
You're done.
Count.
So you weren't talking about their professional careers. Name 2 Anne Hathaway films. 3 Anne Hathaway films.
Okay. I think I've spoken about this before. I didn't even know who Anne Hathaway was before.
Right. So you weren't talking about their career. That's interesting, isn't it? Tried to do me there, but you weren't talking about their career.
Oh my god, the Gengen press there, the Gengen press.
Name 10 women. I will say there is a beautiful Dua Lipa song called I deleted Spotify because I needed the space. It's called Happy For You. And it's about basically the song. I think it's really beautiful. It's about an ex-partner who she sees a picture of him with his new girlfriend, and she's like, "I'm really happy for you," and that means and I'm genuinely really happy for you because you deserve that, and that means I must have loved you more than I ever thought I did. I think it's a really beautiful song.
Oh.
Late on Tuesday, I saw you. You look so happy. You know she was at the Arsenal game.
Both of them were.
You ever seen TDK on YouTube? I'm actually coming up to 80,000 subscribers.
Also, right, I got so much stick for calling Declan Rice cringe today. Like, oh, you're the one. How can you call him cringe? You look like someone who games all day.
It's just because you're Indian. I'm sorry, that is only because you're Indian.
I came out of work and thought, what? Why have I been subjected to all this?
That's just racism.
It is racism.
You look like you work in a telephone call center.
Yeah, literally. Okay. It's like, who are you to call him cringe? Like, chill out, Dave. Goodness me. Like,
funny. Was Calafiori because he got a picture with Dua Lipa?
Yeah. Dua Lipa looked quite nervous.
Mate, it's his aura.
It's his aura.
How's the love life going? Lad's got a girlfriend. It's going great. No need for any more Hinge reviews.
Was I the catalyst?
You actually kind of were. I can't even lie. Because the picture I had when we matched was the picture we chose together. That's crazy.
Moment.
TCP Live got me a girlfriend. TCP Live might have found my wife. How crazy is that?
That's actually mental.
And
I'm taking that credit. I'm taking that.
That's crazy.
Chat, you certainly cooked, but I'm taking most of it. I'm definitely taking that.
Would you swap Myles and Waneri for Yamal? No.
No. Oh no, actually no, because we've got Saka. No.
Hold on, TBG. Hold on. I am married to George. To be fair, George is my work husband. It's so. I talk to George more than my mum, and I talk to my mum a lot.
Really?
Every
day? Every day?
I talk to George probably 6 times more than my sister, who lives in Dubai.
Damn.
Alistair says, I thought you were going on that Arsenal fan dating show. Odds on we get you on that dating show?
Who?
You.
And why is that?
Well, you're single, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get you on the dating show.
Am I? Oh, yeah. Well, let's move on to the next question, actually. Let's not get any trouble. Move on.
Would I swap George and Rohan for Isak and Barkala? All day! Know the clip I'm referencing? In my prime. All day!
Oh, what was that from? Oh,
It's Henri when
oh
Grealish
yes,
asked if he
it
beat
was Walker,
Walker
wasn't it?
1v1.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, in my prime.
How-
All day!
What a disgrace that question was, by the way. Like, from Grealish. The King, Thierry. It's Carl
Alex, when
Walker
are you going on
defend the back post. Get out of
CBS
it.
Galazzo? I highly doubt CBS Galazzo want very niche Arsenal analysis. You never know though. Don't limit it.
Going back to the dating thing, right? What do you make of that Arsenal doing that? Has football become too soft?
Shut up. Do you know who is soft? It's the people who really actually, like, you can see it and be like, oh, that's annoying. But the people who really actually care about that stuff. You're the soft one. Like, you're the one who's actually triggered by this stuff.
Try telling that to Barry.
No, but you are, like, you're there. You're there.
You're there. Well, you're there.
Stale says, lads, I need relationship advice. My girlfriend is a United fan. Dump her. Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Oh, it. That was harsh. Sorry. Get rid of her. I meant like in a football sense. Apologies. Your girlfriend's not an it. Her. Get rid of her. Could you date someone who was like a bit like big into another team?
No.
Juju says send her out on loan.
Send her out on loan.
Yeah, that's a 2-year loan with a buy option to Swansea, mate.
A buy option. After you've explored the market. Oh my god.
Football Pack coming in with all the questions. Would you rather avidly relive the Invincible season or win the Premier League for the next 2 seasons with Arteta? Write your own history. Write your own history.
Win the Premier League next 2 seasons because I've been right now. So obviously we were very young, both of us, when Arsenal won the Invincibles. Yeah, but we've been on this journey, right? Invested. Come on, like it has to be unbearable on Twitter. I'll be going for everyone. Unbearable.
I wouldn't be anywhere. Well, I would be on Twitter, but I would also be out.
Yeah, but you can do
Talking to
both,
people.
Alexander. Yeah, all right, mate. You got friends.
Your friends off Twitter. FPHC says, "What would you sacrifice for a UCL?"
As in what? Oz?
Kidney.
Yeah, I would for that.
We've got him.
I would for that.
Ladies and gents, we got him.
Yeah. I'd do it for that. I need a Champions League before I die. I need one.
If we win the UCL, having knocked out Real, PSG, and Barca, does that overtake the Invincible season?
Difficult to say because I didn't live through the Invincible season. Like watched it game by game, right? So,
all right, I'm doing another poll
because we've got 2 minutes left.
Yeah, but I want this to know. For a UCL. The poll's in there. Question is, for a UEFA Champions League, would you sacrifice a bollock or a boob? Yes or no?
No.
67% have said yes.
See, this is all fake, though, isn't
Guys,
it?
yeah,
come on. You're not doing this.
All day. Yeah, but a boob feels like for girls feels a bit harsher. But I don't know what the equivalent would be.
So what are you replacing it with?
Like an ovary or something. I mean, like,
yeah, I was gonna
that
say.
feels a bit harsh. Maybe just like, I don't know, make you... No, I'm not going to say.
No, I have to be careful here. Got a lot of
54% saying yes. You can live with one. You can live with one bollock. You'd be all right.
Is that true?
Yeah, you'd be all right. Like your fertility goes down, but you can.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Yeah, you're like injured, but
Nikki says people already live with one bollock. One kiss is all it takes. Go and have a listen to that Dua Lipa song. I know you're desperate to get off the live because it's 9 o'clock and you want to go watch.
No, but it's interviews this week. It's interviews.
What does that mean?
It's where they show their business plans.
Why do you care?
Oh, it's such good TV, mate.
No, it
Honestly.
isn't. It's so bad.
It's such good TV.
Alejandro, coming in with super chat. One ball is all it takes. Alejandro says Rodrigo or Vinny to us.
Vinny all day long. Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny would be lovely. Late on a Tuesday, I saw you with him. You were so happy. You have to stay until the end of this. You can't go watch the rest of this. I could just tell. I think she's a model. Then it's together. You look hot as hell. And I didn't even want to cry. Oh, what is this feeling? Couldn't believe it. Had to ask myself why. I must have loved you.
We're in squeaky bum time. We've gone past squeaky bum time.
Right, we'll finish there. Thank you all.
Tomorrow live data pod.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I was about to talk to that in a second. Tomorrow evening they're doing a live data pod. So if you normally don't see the data pods because you're not a patron, George, we've done that debate already. And Rohan claimed that it was about
not now.
Rohan claimed it was about Korea. And then I said, name 2 Dua Lipa songs, and he couldn't name one Anne Hathaway film. Oh, I thought we were talking about their professional careers. You're just a sexist, aren't you, Alex? Oh, am I? We've got a live data pod tomorrow with Rohan and George. So check it out. If you don't normally get those because you're not a Patreon member or a YouTube member, firstly, what are you doing? Become a Patreon YouTube member. You get the rewatches, you get ad-free content, you get Patreon episodes, data pod episodes, you get youth pod episodes. We've got a new series coming that you get ad-free on Sunday, which we recorded today. Mate, so much stuff. So may as well do that. But yeah, if you don't normally get those, then there'll be a live one tomorrow. We can ask all the nerdy data questions.
Guys, excuse me. What was our XG in the press against Brentford in 27-28? Have you got any of the data on that?
Right, let's speed this up now.
What I like doing at the end of these shows is just because I know you're desperate for it to end.
I'm dying.
Desperate for it to end.
What are you doing? I'm gonna leave. Bye.
No, don't. No. You got to end the show.
I'm joking. I wasn't gonna leave. Haha, got you there. No, it's too long. That's too long.
Do you know what's funny though? You lot play it more than me. Whenever I'm not on TCP Live, you guys play touch balls.
We finish with actual punctuality.
When you lose an argument, you just start going me. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed. If you're not a Patreon or YouTube member, become a Patreon. Follow Rohan on X at no new thing. Follow me on X at GeorgeV_FC. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Rohan.
Nice one.
And thanks. We've got to do this one. Thanks for keeping it Arsenal.
Come on, Jamie. Yo, VIP. Let's kick it. Rice, baby. Rice, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Rice is back with my brand new invention. Something got a hold of me tightly. Flow like a hot cold daily and nightly. Will it ever stop, yo? I don't know. Turn off the lights, yo. And I'll go to the extreme. I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up the stage or watch a light like a candle. Damn. Gonna resonate through. Killing that brain with the poisonous mushroom deadly. When I play it so early. Anything less is the best. It's a felony. Love it. I hate it. I better gain weight. You better hit the rules and the kid don't play. And if there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Pick out the road with my DJ results. Rice, baby.
To his credit, he's still here.
Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury.
Electrifying.